Sammy, how much did you think you knew before you played all these snaps the last 2 games, and what does it compare to what you know now?
Can you say that again?
I'm just curious how much you've learned the last couple of games compared to what you might have thought.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me is that there is definitely a difference between practice speed and game speed. I feel like I can get it all through the week and feel pretty good about it, and then you get thrown in there on Saturday, and it's like, whoa, that's a lot faster than it was in practice. So that's been the biggest thing for me, is just kind of adjusting to the way that the game plays compared to practice.
How about doing that while being assignment sound and knowing exactly where you're supposed to be, sort of the combination?
It's definitely a little tough, and that's just a part of being a linebacker. You know, you're the quarterback of the defense, so you've got to have people in there that are smart and that can do the job. So, you know, I take full advantage of it.
What's it like being in that crowd, in that atmosphere at Memorial Stadium?
It's definitely one of the best atmospheres that I've ever been a part of. Being a recruit and then being on the field, it's just like, whoa. I mean, I couldn't imagine being that quarterback first start in Death Valley.
I got to ask Jaheim Scott about getting his first snaps in a game, and he talked about how it kind of went quiet for him, that like he thought it was going to be a lot more overwhelming when he was actually out on the field. Is that the same for you, or do you hear it all? Do you feel that in your body?
I mean, as far as noise, I would say it definitely does. Like, you don't notice how loud it is, but you can feel the energy in the stadium. So you don't really hear the noise, but you feel the energy.
Yeah, so it's all those tackles for loss, kind of like just kind of make your read, be kind of what you thought it was going to be, it was, or like what do you think allowed you to kind of get in the backfield and make some of those plays?
I think the biggest thing for me was just playing fast. Coach Ware challenged me midway through the game, hey, you got to play fast, you got to get downhill, and 2 plays later I made a TFL. So really for me it's just about playing fast and being comfortable playing fast.
What has it been like to be coached by Coach Ware?
He brings a certain edge that I mean, you don't really get from anybody else. He played here, he knows what it takes, and I mean, he basically fights us out there at practice sometimes, so it's good to have him out there. He brings a real good energy that I really like.
Just like pushing you around.
Oh yeah, not like actual fist fight, but.
Any questions for Sammy virtually? Anybody else in the room?
Sammy, just asking how the offense's production and their just explosion, it's the word we've all been using over the last 2 weeks, how that feeds you guys on defense and what it's like to come onto the field after all of that excitement and fireworks and such.
I think it elevates our game because, you know, they say iron sharpens iron, so we're in practice and they're doing really good. It's going to elevate us to be our best as well.
I think you led the Clemson in tackles over the past 2 games. How do you have such a nose for the football where you're always there to help with tackles or making a solo tackle on your own?
I think Coach Sweeney said it after the App State game, but they said I was a running back playing linebacker. So I've got a lot to work on as far as reading my keys and, you know, fitting in the right gap. But one thing that I kind of pride myself in is giving 110% effort and running to the ball every play. So when you run to the ball every play, even if you're wrong, you're gonna make tackles. So got a lot to work on, but at least I'm giving 110% every play.
Is that kind of the advice you've gotten? Whatever you're doing, just do it full speed, and we'll fine-tune the details and some of that education as we go?
Definitely, and that was kind of my message for my dad growing up, going, you know, through middle school, high school. If you're going to be wrong, at least be wrong going 110%.
I know they have the iPads and stuff like that now, so that help, like, after you maybe didn't quite hit a gap, were they just showing you on the sideline like this is?
I think it helps a lot because, you know, you can say, oh, I fit in this gap, but the eye in the sky doesn't lie, so you can get the iPad, you can see what actually happened, and, you know, they're going to run a play more than once in a game, so it definitely helps the next time they run it.
I think Wade would ask yesterday, kind of said he kind of helped the younger linebackers, kind of if you guys make a mistake there, him and Ware kind of come and help you guys. How crucial has their leadership and kind of mentorship been for you guys during these games?
I've been really proud of their leadership. I've been really proud of the way that they've been, not only in the games, but, you know, in the spring, in the summer, and fall camp. They've just done a really good job of stepping into that role and being somebody that's out there you can clean up after a young guy.
Has there been anything specific that they've pointed out to you, either in a game or in a practice, that you've been working on?
I mean, definitely with my run fits, you know, with the swap stretch and stuff, it's kind of hard to fit. So they were kind of helping me in the game and fitting that stuff up, and I really appreciate that from especially Wade and Barrett.
What's it like being out on the field with them at times, and then also the 2s and 3s, and kind of being more of a leader on the team? How do you balance that and flip your mindset in those situations?
Well, naturally, the linebacker is going to be a leader of the defense, like I said, just because they're the quarterback of the defense. So even when I'm in there with Wade and Barrett, you have to be a leader, and when the 2s or 3s in theirs, you have to be a leader. So I don't really think it changes a whole lot. I think you just have the mindset of being a linebacker. You got to be a leader.
What's that transition like from playing with the N1s and having the 2s and 3s, having so much time on the field these last couple of games, and just your role as it goes between those two looks out there on defense?
I think it's a great opportunity, and not only for me, but for those 2s and 3s as well, because, you know, later on down the line, there might be a situation where they need to be in the game, and so getting the reps early on has really helped us come along, and I'm really proud of what they've done.
Have you noticed your maturity, your football IQ, just all of that, just the speed at which that's grown over these last couple of games alone?
I think it's definitely slowed down a little bit, you know, definitely comparing the first play in the App State game to the last play in the NC State game. I think it's slowed down a lot. It's kind of come to me a little bit easier.
Anybody else for Sammy?
Being your freshman year and leading in tackles, great. How are you keeping this momentum going into this week's game?
I think you just got to forget about what happened in the last week, and you just got to focus on today. So I can't worry about how many tackles I had, how many missed assignments I had. I just got to come to work on Wednesday and give it 110%.
Anybody else? Sammy, thank you, man. Appreciate
Yes,
you.
sir.